It's New Year's Day, I don't have a hangover, and I'm trying to finish off a model that I had hoped to have completed before the end of the year. I saw someone post their best and worst models of 2024 and thought, that's a good idea. Which are my best and worst builds of the year? Then the realization, I only completed 2 kits for the entire year. The first is Tamiya's Honda Formula 1 car from 1966 in 1/12 scale. It's mostly out of box with some additional wires and plumbing. I used a custom mix of Tamiya paints on the body and mostly SMS lacquers for the engine and internals. I had to resort to aftermarket decals though, as the ones in the kit were shot. The other build is the Indianapolis 500 winner from 1956, a Watson Offenhauser in 1/43 scale by MA scale models. This is a resin and white metal kit, and the quality is not so great. A lot of cleanup and preparation was required on the main body, which is again painted in Tamiya lacquer through the airbrush, then SMS clear over the top. There were issues with the old decals that had to be navigated, but considering it was my first ever resin build, I was quite happy with the way it turned out. I also did this diecast conversion. It was a straightforward strip, repaint, redecorate deal, but the redecorate wasn't quite so straightforward as the replacement decals were a different size to the diecast body, so that produced a few challenges to get around. Overall, I'm quite happy with it, and it represents a race car that was never made in model form, the Gary Rogers Motorsport wildcard entry from Bathurst in 2020. There are videos on the channel that run through the steps to build all 3 models, and they include detail about the problems that were encountered and what changes I made and so on, so feel free to check them out. But the best and worst for the year? As far as the kit itself, the Tamiya Honda, even though it's really old tooling, is clearly the better of the 2. But execution of the build, that's a bit of a tough one, because I made mistakes on both kits. The Honda is a fairly clean build and does have some nice extra detail that are added. The Indy Roadster looks a little scrappy, but considering what I had to work with in the first place, it's come up remarkably well. But it is a bit scrappy, so must be considered the worst of the 2. But if you ask me which was my favourite, it would win. I love the history around the Indy 500, and this rare kit is a unique part of that history. Now, an honourable mention for this behemoth, the huge 1/8 scale Ferrari 643 from Rosso Corporation. I almost wrapped this up on New Year's Eve. There's just a few parts left to go, and it's mostly just the decoration needs applying, but I wasn't going to rush through that just to get the decals done by midnight. It should be finished very shortly, after which there will be a full build video, so subscribe if you want to see that. Where will this one fit in the best and worst of 2025? We'll have to wait until next year to answer that.